How are we doing, folks? So today I wanted to talk about why I choose to use the Thrustmaster TCA Airbus throttles with my Boeing Yoke. I get so many comments when I upload my landing shorts, usually going something like, OMG, bro is using an Airbus throttle with a Boeing Yoke. At first I felt like I really needed to defend myself by replying to each comment in great detail, but honestly now I'm just kind of glad for the engagement feeding the algorithm, so frankly keep it coming. But anyway, I wanted to take a few minutes today and break down why I chose to go down the Airbus throttle route. So the main thing to consider is that I don't just fly Boeing. Those of you that join in the live streams will know that I like to fly all sorts of aircraft. I don't like to be tied into one specific aircraft. I like to mix it up between Airbus, Boeing, and even the ATR on occasion. Now, Airbus, for the most part, use a side stick. So I have one of those from Thrustmaster, and very nice it is too. Boeing use the yokes, and obviously I have one of those from Thrustmaster, so those two bases are covered. So then why did I choose the Airbus throttles from Thrustmaster and not the Boeing ones? Unlike the Airbus throttles, the Boeing throttles do not have detents, meaning that when you're flying Airbus, you can't just click the throttles into the climb gate. You would have to very, very carefully move the throttle levers up until you kind of hear the climb gate noise engage via the Sims audio. I guess you'd also need some kind of dead zone into calibration to stop small accidental touches of the throttles knocking them out of the climb gate. Second, the Boeing throttles have 3 levers, which seems odd to me. I really feel like it could have done with a 4th. You end up having to choose between having 2 throttle levers with either a speed brakes lever or a flap lever. Or there is the other solution where you can buy 2 of the Boeing throttle units and hook them together, but yeah, these things aren't cheap, so that idea was immediately dismissed. Thirdly, from what I've gathered from watching reviews, and obviously I don't own the Boeing throttles, so I'm just going by what I've heard, the Boeing throttles don't have detents for the flaps, which again just seems weird to me, especially on a Boeing where there are lots of flap settings compared to Airbus. Also worth thinking about is that if you buy the add-on kit for the Airbus throttles, the flaps lever does have detents, so it's even weirder to me in that case that the Boeings don't. Finally is the reversers. Airbus reversers work a bit differently, giving you a range of movement versus just a pull lever that you'd find on the Boeing throttles. So all those reasons combined is why I ended up going with an Airbus throttle. You've got the detents for when you're flying Airbus, obviously, because it's an Airbus throttle, and when you're flying the Boeings, you can just ignore them. They're very, very easy to push through, and in a weird way, they're kind of like a bit of a cheat code, almost like these tactile aids. When you feel the climb gate detent, you can almost know what power level the engines are at when you're in the Boeing without having to look. Or, if you'd rather, you can simply remove the detents altogether for when you fly Boeing. You also get the engine start controls, which I particularly like when flying Airbus. I still need to figure out how to get this sorted for the Boeings. Maybe I might need spad.next to sort that out. I don't know. Leave me a comment if you know, but that could be another video for another time. There's also the add-on kit you can get for the Airbus throttles, which gives you speed brakes and flaps levers, among a few other things. And as I said, the flaps lever does have detents for the Airbus, which is a really nice touch. However, in the spirit of having a throttle that plays nicely between Airbus and Boeing, the Airbus detents do pose a bit of an issue for when you're flying Boeing. So the Airbus has 4 flap settings, 1, 2, 3 and full. The Boeing has many, many more. So you're going to need to move the flaps lever to just the right place in between the Airbus detents when flying Boeing to access various flap settings, which is a little bit weird, but there is a brilliant solution. Let me show you. So with the aid of a 3D printer, you can 3D print yourself a little insert that goes into the flaps lever, which has slots in it, right in the right position for the various flap positions for the Boeing 737. You can also 3D print yourself some new levers, and with the help of a spring, it actually works where you have to kind of pull the lever up, move it into position, and then drop it into the correct slot. Really, really nice. And notice how the Airbus positions match up where they should be, so you're still good for Airbus. My plan is to get the add-on kit for the Airbus throttles, so I'm basically going to commit to the Airbus throttles, and then I'm going to get this 3D print add-on, and then my hope is that I'll have a really solid throttle for use with Boeing and Airbus. I appreciate that other throttle solutions do exist outside of Thrustmaster. We've basically just spent the whole time talking about 2 solutions from Thrustmaster. The Bravo throttle being one that comes to mind, but that one is a bit out of budget for me. And that's the other thing, the Airbus throttles can be picked up at a really great price. The base unit that I have here, without the add-ons, was $69.99 today in the UK when I checked, and that's an amazing deal. I'll leave some Amazon affiliate links down below if you're interested. It means I'll get a small kickback from Amazon, which really helps to keep the lights on here at no additional cost to you. So if you're in the market for any of this stuff, using those links really does help out a ton. So there you have it. That is my thought process that has led me to have an Airbus Throttle and a Boeing Yoke. As I said, it attracts a lot of comments, but I stand by the fact it's a really great combination, and it works really, really well as a go-between for Airbus and Boeing aircraft. Going forward, my main priority for my setup, I think, is going to be to have something that works really well across a wide range of aircraft, rather than obsessing over replicating one particular airliner. As you can guarantee that if I were to go all in and say, try and replicate a 737 cockpit, as I tightened the final screw, you just know that the fly-by-wire A380 will release, and then I'll have to start all over again and make an Airbus version. So I kind of feel like having something that's quite generic, but works really well across lots of different things is really the way I should be going. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching indeed. Take the very best care of yourselves, and as always, happy flying.